Everyone on here talks about the technical side of Amazon FBA. What tools to use, profit margins, step-by-step processes. But one thing I don't see coaches talking about that's arguably more important is the mindset you need to develop to stick to your systems and actually grow your business. Today, we're breaking down the 5 mindset shifts that separate the sellers who plateau from the ones who consistently scale past 7 figures. After helping dozens of students cross the $10,000 profit mark, I've seen this come up time and time again. The sellers who struggle aren't failing because Amazon doesn't work. They're failing because they approach Amazon the wrong way. It always comes down to the mindset and the frameworks they use to make decisions. Top sellers use completely different frameworks, ones you've probably never even been taught. That's exactly why I created this video. And if you combine it with my one-on-one coaching linked in the description, you can shortcut the learning curve and speedrun your success to Amazon FBA. Before we jump in, my name is Andreas Dale. I currently run a 7-figure Amazon FBA business that makes over 100 grand per month. I think I'm a little bit qualified to talk about this. Let's dive in. The first major mindset shift is replacing hacks with systems. Beginners chase hacks. They accidentally stumble on the latest TikTok trend, review loopholes, which get your account banned, or the latest algorithm tricks. These are all hacks that go away and are not sustainable to running a legitimate business. Sure, you might see a trend going up because you're taking advantage of what's hot right now, but once that dries out, you're left starting from ground zero again. 6-figure sellers build sustainable infrastructure, systems that adapt with changes. Just think about Amazon as a whole. There's a reason they have warehouses over the entire US. Hell, even drones delivering packages now. These are all defined as systems and leverage. This is what separates beginners from the advanced people that win in business. So in your case, success rates and inventory come from decisions with consistent systems, not one-off tricks. The reason we're able to replenish year-round these items is because we focus on the long term, not just the short bag. Next is learning to shift your focus from chasing revenue to focusing on profit. Most beginners chase a 10K month without focusing on net margins. And I'm not here to bash on you because I made that mistake when I was younger as well, but the orange bars are not what you want to focus on. You want to focus on your bottom line. What is profit after all your costs? That is what truly matters. It's literally screenshot culture. Everybody can hype up the screenshots, but when it's time to look at the operational costs and what's left after fees, they get quiet. That's what you need to focus on, the real bottom line, which is exactly why 7-figure sellers evaluate every product with full profit calculations. We know exactly what it's going to make before we even purchase the item and send it to Amazon. I aim for 30% net margins after all costs, product, shipping, and returns. I remember we had a few items collectively making us $50K a month, but that was only $5,000 in profit after I did all the math on the back end. So we went back to the drawing board, adjusted our strategy, and we did 30K a month with the same group of products, but 12K in profit. So we nearly doubled our profit just by looking back and doing the correct things on the back end. At the end of the day, profits pay the bills. Revenue just feeds the ego. Mental shift 3 is building systems for decision making rather than reacting emotionally. Changing your price after a bad review or panic ordering inventory after 2 bad days. These are all examples of emotional decisions. Look at this picture right here. This is how I like to base my thinking when I'm making any decisions in my business. It's a thinking system. On the left, these are all just random emotions that could be fluctuating with how your day's going or other influences. So for example, my gut says this works versus data beats feelings. So you have a confirmation bias. One day, let's say you're feeling super on top and you can do anything. A mental model for this is stay in your lane. Circle of competence. Focus on what you're good at and your strengths and hire people for your weaknesses or coaching for your weaknesses. All problems are equal. Mental model says find your 20%. Pareto principle. These are all concepts that elevate your mind and help you operate better as a CEO, because that's at the end of the day who you are if you're starting a business. You are responsible for all the good things and all the bad things. And then at the bottom here, we have the thinking hierarchy, and it numbers it by the priority. Inversion thinking. Find solutions by avoiding failures. I'm not gonna go over every single line, but you get the idea. This is a very powerful study that was done, and I even use these frameworks myself. I used to panic every dip in sales, checking the Amazon seller app 20 times a day to see if my sales were still progressing. Now I only check once daily, act on 7-day trends, and follow a clear inventory management management system so that we reorder on time and don't overbuy and make any of these mistakes. This resulted in a 5% increase in our profit margins in under 15 days. With that short of a window, and I know that may seem like a small percent, but this makes a big difference in the grand scheme of things. And also, it was less stress. The fourth shift is from winging it to intentional optimization. Instead of acting on emotion, you need to think like a scientist, refining your processes and not reinventing it every time. Beginners often jump from one tactic to another tactic, hoping for quick wins, making random changes just after a few slow days without a real plan. Without a consistent approach, your business starts to feel chaotic, especially when it comes to sourcing, inventory, management, and scaling. A clear framework for how to think about your business gives you a focused path to follow, so you're not reacting to short-term results, but optimizing based on what actually works. A huge optimization that we made was outsourcing our inventory to a warehouse partner so that they take care of all the fulfillment and things, and we just review what we sent to them in the inbound sheet, and that's it. Now we can focus on sourcing. So I identified what I didn't like doing, and I focused on higher leverage tasks. The benefit of this, we were able to contact twice as many brands and onboard them faster since I didn't have to worry about how the fulfillment on the back end was going to work. Taking the time to figure out what to actually focus on will dramatically reduce the time it takes to hit profitably. The fifth and final shift is a big one. Most successful sellers think in years, not months. Beginners chase hot products, make fast cash, and restart every 90 days. Think about it. You build up your baby, your business, something you were really proud about. You may have been making good money from it, and then in 90 days, just all goes to a fresh slate again. And now you have to build up that momentum step by step again. It's pointless. Only jumping from trend to trend. I look for products that fit my strategy and my long-term goals. I remember I had bought a product from a brand, but I knew that this was the seed to planting a relationship with this brand. I may have been only making $5 profit per sale, and it was only selling like 30 to 40 units per month. But I knew if I built my way within this brand, I was going to get access to their other products that were selling a lot more and making a lot more profit. So if I was thinking about it the wrong way and I was only looking at the short term, I would have said this product sucked and let me just move on to the next brand. But staying patient and building my reputation with that brand landed me those other products that sell a lot better, and I was able to sell the other SKUs that this brand offered. So this led to more sales, more opportunities, because the brand also referred me to other brands that are similar to them and put in a good word for me. So now I have repeat customers, higher order values, and more relationships, because at the end of the day, that's what this business is all about. Looking back, this made me realize the importance of short-term cash flow versus building an asset that has equity. Once I shifted my way of thinking to focusing on the long term and building a brand within my Amazon store, carrying multiple of these brands that sell well on Amazon, I realized that if I do this the right way, eventually my Amazon store could be something that potential VCs or investors want to invest in, and maybe I could sell my business for a multiple. So looking at the bigger picture really opened my eyes to how much bigger you can take things if you do things the right way. 7-figure sellers build sustainable businesses with long-term value, not just cash flow. As you can now see, mindset is the major difference between struggling sellers and sellers who scale. It's not just about knowing the right tactic, it's about how you think, the decisions you make under pressure, and how you handle the inevitable challenges that come with growth. When you think long term, you can push through while others burn out. When you embrace failure as data, you iterate while others quit. When you focus on systems over shortcuts, you build something sustainable. Look, I know it's easy to get obsessed with the latest tool or hack that's gonna change everything, but in order to properly scale, you need the mindset first. Here's the thing though, you can't just flip a switch and suddenly think like a 7-figure seller overnight. These mindset shifts took me years to develop through expensive mistakes. That's exactly why I created my mentorship program to help you skip through the learning curve. I work directly with Amazon sellers who are serious about building a real business, not just chasing quick wins. We'll audit your approach, identify what's holding you back, and rebuild your strategy around frameworks that actually scale. No more second guessing decisions, no more panicking when sales dip, and no more jumping from tactic to tactic. Just a clear roadmap and the right mindset to execute it. If you're ready to approach Amazon like somebody who's already built a 7-figure store, click the link below to apply. But to be completely honest, I only work with people who are committed to putting in the work. So if you're looking for get rich quick schemes or shortcuts, this isn't for you. But if you're ready to build something that lasts, click the first link in the description and fill out the application to apply. See you next week.